took away the atmosphere of my ability to take care of myself, of what I had to do. He just broke my desire to be totally independent and not let anybody else know that I was visually impaired.
I used to love to hunt deer. It was a real family tradition. And part of that tradition was the family dinner the night before and the sitting around and the telling all the stories for the 10,000th time. And I'm no longer invited to that, and that's really hard for me. Even though I can no longer hunt, I'd still like to be a part of that ritual.
When I was in 3rd grade, I moved to Doylestown and had really thick glasses, and people used to call me Four Eyes and used to make fun of my glasses in various ways. And I mean, I took it. I didn't really make a big deal about it because I thought that they'd think I was a baby. And I mean, I went home to my mom every day and said, Mom, they're making fun of me.
Couldn't stand that. Couldn't stand it. You know, I like telling people to get out there and get off their ass and get involved in sports and things like that. I went blind when I was 18. Okay, but I didn't ask them. I decided to go out for wrestling, you know, again after I went blind, and they said the doctor said I could, and I said why? Because I'm blind. I said, oh, screw that. I couldn't see anything when I took my glasses off when I was in high school.
To be perfectly honest, when I took over, I thought the training methods would be different. I thought that they wouldn't be the athletes that they are. And the reason why I got involved is because I watched them train and I watched them work out, and I realized that there was some real potential there that was not being tapped, and they weren't getting the possibilities to reach the level of excellence that they thought they could attain. In the sport of judo, visually impaired athletes are more dedicated. They care more about it.
I like surprising people, you know, in wrestling and in judo. It's kind of neat to go out there and throw a guy who's sighted, and they come back and later on say, hey, you're really good. What'd you expect? I'm not here for my help.
That's
you know?
right.
It's, you know, we do what we can, you know, to beat people. I'm in the shot put, discus, javelin, and judo.
He's basically a thrower of implements and people.
People only when I'm threatened. He's a good coach, very good coach, and it's kind of neat to be treated as athletes and not someone who's disabled or blind or whatever.
I talked to a gentleman yesterday who has helped coach these guys in the past, and he said, you know, these guys are disabled athletes, and you just got to treat them like that. They just can't do what regular athletes do, and that's so wrong. That's so wrong. They can do what regular athletes can do, and these guys proved it time and time again all year long. I mean, I busted their butt. They worked harder than any team I've ever coached.
Initially, I was very hesitant to train with Pavla because I was afraid I'd get injured myself. And my coach, that was my coach's greatest fear, was that either she would trip over me or I would trip over her. And I said that we weren't running like attached to each other, we were running next to each other. But he was very afraid. Some of my friends, you know, when I said, oh, I'm going to start leading a blind runner, said, are you serious? Why, you know, how do you do it? How do you, like it was this incredible thing that I was going to do and that it was so hard to learn. But, I mean, it's just communication. The only difference is that with Pavla, as compared to my other teammates and training partners that I work out with, is the rattle that I carry. It's what she listens to. It's what keeps her next to me without straying too far away. It's the sound that she goes by. I have to make sure I move my arm enough so that she can hear the rattle.
I never liked the name.
My perceptions of blind people have changed since I met Pavla, because I used to think that blind people, you know, had some limitations and they really, you know, couldn't do everything that a sighted person could do. but she's starting to change my thoughts on that.
My parents both, they play a lot volleyball, as well as my brother. Of course, this is kind of sport which is not really good for me. But in spite of that, I had to learn how to start volleyball play, and I had to know how to react, you know, when someone throw a ball on you and so on. And it was funny, just. Of course it is handicapped because I cannot do things the same way as most people in society. I have to look for different ways in order to achieve the same things as they do. But it doesn't restrict me from society, or it doesn't push me out from the sighted world at all.
Many of the children you see here have been denied the opportunity to participate in gym class at their public schools. Some of them have rarely been given the chance to do calisthenics, play soccer, or even shoot a basketball. These kids are blind and visually impaired and are learning sports skills at a camp sponsored by the Pennsylvania Association of Blind Athletes.
I think I have some things which I could share and give to other blind people, especially children. What I'm thinking about is especially inspiration to inspire them what they could do to become a part of the sighted society. In Prague I have a little hill where I'm able to run on my own, and the hill has a different texture on the ground so that I can feel with my feet where I am. Once I was running there and a man with a little kid were passing me, and the child read my sign and said, "Blind." And probably father said, "Yes, very well, you read it correctly." And the kid just kept on thinking and said, "Blind, does it mean that she's blind?" And the father answered, "No, of course not. Of course she can see. Come on."
Through participating in sports, these people challenge some of the attitudes we have about the blind and visually impaired. Given the chance, these athletes prove they are capable of achieving all that is possible to become champions. They are portraits of possibility.
Whoa, shoot! Get out, Marty. Oh, man. You're strong!